She laughed. Wow, you think saving old receipts makes you smart? You're so petty. I said petty pays. When those receipts turned into evidence of fraud and she was asked to testify, her laughter suddenly stopped. I, 32 male, own a small catering business with my former best friend Veronica, 34. Well, co-owned. Past tense is important here. We started this thing 5 years ago. Both of us were line cooks who got tired of making other people rich, pooled our savings, got a small business loan, and launched a catering company specializing in corporate events and private parties. 50-50 partnership. Everything split down the middle. From day one, I've been meticulous about documentation. Every receipt, every invoice, every bank statement, I scan and file everything. Got a filing cabinet, home, and cloud backups. Veronica always mocked me for it. Why are you keeping a receipt for a $3 pack of napkins? Documentation V. Good business practice. She'd roll her eyes. You're such a control freak. Nobody cares about your paper hoarding. But here's the thing. I wasn't doing it to be controlling. My dad ran a small auto shop and got audited when I was a teen. The stress of scrambling for records nearly gave him a heart attack. He drilled into me. Keep everything. The IRS doesn't care about your excuses. So I kept everything. Every single thing. About 8 months ago, I noticed weird patterns in our books. Nothing huge. Supplies costs seemed higher than usual. Some cash deposits were lighter than expected. When I brought it up to Veronica, she brushed it off. Inflation, dude. Everything costs more now. Yeah, but our napkin supplier hasn't raised prices. I called them. She laughed. Wow, you think saving old receipts makes you smart? You're so petty. Calling suppliers about napkins? Get a life. Petty pays, I told her. Especially when running a business. She kept laughing. Whatever helps you sleep at night, Mr. Filing Cabinet. The dismissive attitude bothered me, but I let it go. We were busy, bookings were solid, and maybe I was being paranoid. Then 3 weeks ago, our accountant called. Not email, not text. Called. That's when you know it's serious. We need to meet, in person. Bring Veronica. The meeting was illuminating. Our accountant, Russell, laid out spreadsheets showing discrepancies, about $45,000 worth over the past year, cash deposits not matching event invoices, supply costs that didn't align with our usage, vendor payments to companies he couldn't verify. Veronica's response? Russell's being dramatic. These are just booking errors. But Russell had done his homework. I tried contacting 3 of these vendors. The phone numbers don't work. The addresses are residential apartments. I felt my stomach drop. Veronica's face went from dismissive to defensive. So what? Sometimes we use small suppliers, cash-only businesses. You know how it is. I know how fraud is, Russell said quietly. The word hung in the air. Fraud. Veronica exploded. How dare you? I've put everything into this business. Then you won't mind if we audit everything, I said. Full forensic accounting. This is insane. You're really gonna waste money on this witch hunt? If there's nothing to find, it's not a waste. She stormed out. That night, she texted me a novel about trust and friendship and how I was destroying our partnership over bookkeeping paranoia. I hired a forensic accountant the next day. What they found? Buckle up. Update 1. The forensic accountant's preliminary report was a masterclass in small business fraud. Veronica had been running multiple schemes. 1. Fake vendors. She'd created 3 shell companies, submitted fake invoices, and pocketed the payments. Total, $28,000. 2. Cash skimming. For cash-only events, she'd report lower amounts and pocket the difference. Total, $12,000. 3. Personal expenses. Charging personal shopping as supplies, her car payments as vehicle maintenance, even her gym membership as team building. Total, $5,000. The kicker? She'd been sloppy. The fake vendors all had invoices with sequential invoice numbers, submitted on the same days, all with the same payment terms. Amateur hour. When I confronted her with the evidence, she tried every play in the book. Those vendors are real. They just work from home. The cash thing is a misunderstanding. Some clients tip. I forgot to report tips. Everyone puts some personal stuff through the business. You do it too. No, Veronica, I don't. And I have every receipt to prove it. That's when she switched tactics, went from denial to attack. This is why nobody can stand working with you. You're obsessed with control. Those receipts, the filing, the constant checking, you're insufferable. I'm protecting our business. You're protecting your ego. Mr. Perfect with his perfect records. Then she said something that made my decision easy. You know what? Fine. Prove it. Prove every single dollar. But when you can't, when this all falls apart, I'm suing you for defamation and destroying our partnership. Challenge accepted. I spent the next 3 days organizing everything. 5 years of records. Every receipt I'd saved, every invoice, every bank statement. Cross-referenced everything with the forensic report. But here's where Veronica made her fatal error. She got cocky. While I was building my case, she was busy. Filed a lawsuit against me for harassment, creating a hostile work environment, and breach of fiduciary duty. She also sent an email to all our clients saying the business was undergoing restructuring and that all future bookings should go through her personally. Then she tried to lock me out of our business bank account, except you need both partners to change account access. The bank called me to confirm. I didn't confirm. That's when I knew this was war. And I had receipts, literally thousands of them. Update 2: Veronica's lawsuit was something. She claimed I was mentally unstable, obsessed with paperwork, and had created a hostile work environment by constantly questioning legitimate business expenses. Her lawyer, some strip mall attorney who probably got his degree online, sent me a settlement offer. I walk away from the business, she keeps everything, and pays me $10,000 for my share. I laughed. Actually laughed. My response was to file a countersuit. Fraud, embezzlement, breach of fiduciary duty, conversion of partnership assets. My lawyer attached a sample of evidence, just a taste of what we had. That's when things got interesting. Veronica showed up at my apartment, 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, banging on the door. We need to talk, face to face, like adults. I talked to her through the door. Anything you need to say can go through lawyers. This is insane. You're destroying everything over some bookkeeping errors. Fraud, Veronica. It's called fraud. I'll destroy you. You think your little receipts matter? I'll tell everyone what you're really like. How you've harassed me for years. How you've stolen from the business. I was recording through my doorbell camera. Are you done? I'm just getting started. You have no idea who you're messing with. She left after another 5 minutes of threats. I saved the video and sent it to my lawyer. The next day, our business started getting 1-star reviews. Dozens of them. All claiming food poisoning, terrible service, racism, sexism, you name it. All posted within a few hours. All from accounts created that day. But Veronica made another mistake. Some of the reviews mentioned specific events. Events we'd never catered. Events that didn't exist. She'd fabricated details that were easily disproven. I documented everything, screenshot every review, traced the patterns, added it to the file. Then the forensic accountant found something else. Veronica hadn't just been stealing from the business. She'd been filing false insurance claims. 3 times in 2 years, she'd claimed equipment was stolen or damaged, collected about $15,000 total. The equipment? Still in our storage, just moved to her personal garage. Insurance fraud. That's a whole different level of legal trouble. My lawyer's eyes lit up when I showed him. This changes things. This is criminal, not just civil. So what do? We give her one chance to settle. Full restitution, she walks away from the business, and we don't press criminal charges. That's generous. It's strategic. Criminal cases are expensive and time-consuming, but she needs to know we can go there. So we sent the offer, full forensic report attached, evidence of the insurance fraud highlighted. Her response came fast. Nice try. See you in court. Okay then. Court it would be. Update 3. Remember those receipts Veronica mocked me for keeping? They became Exhibit A through Exhibit ZZ. Our court date was set, but first, depositions. If you've never experienced a deposition, imagine being questioned for hours while every word is recorded and can be used against you. Veronica's deposition was a masterclass in self-destruction. Her lawyer tried to prep her, I'm sure, but Veronica's ego wouldn't let her play it smart. She contradicted herself constantly. I've never heard of fake vendor to one. 10 minutes later, oh, that vendor? Yeah, they do great work. I don't handle cash deposits. Later, I sometimes take cash deposits for convenience. The best part, when they asked about the insurance claims, the mixer was stolen from our prep kitchen. Do you have a police report? It was a busy time. I forgot to file one. What about the industrial refrigerator that was supposedly damaged? Water damage from a pipe. Which pipe? I don't remember. My lawyer showed her photos I'd taken of both pieces of equipment in her garage, dated 2 weeks after the insurance claims. Her lawyer actually put his head in his hands. But the real circus started when we got to my receipts. My lawyer had prepared binders, organized by date, cross-referenced with bank statements, flagged for discrepancies. This receipt shows you purchased $500 of catering supplies from Target. Can you explain why the items include a Dyson vacuum and personal care products? Those were for the business. The business needs tampons and face cream for emergencies. It went on for 6 hours. 6 hours. By the end, Veronica looked defeated. Her lawyer looked worse, but she still wouldn't settle. Still thought she could win. Then came discovery. We got access to her personal bank records. Guess what we found? Deposits matching the amount stolen, always within days of the fake vendor payments. Even better, she'd been bragging in texts to her sister. Screenshots of her bank balance with messages like, "Business is booming." And who needs a raise when you're the boss? Her sister, bless her heart, thought Veronica was just doing well, had no idea about the fraud. Those texts became evidence. My lawyer called me. She's done. Her lawyer wants to meet. Update 4. The meeting was supposed to be a settlement conference. Veronica, her lawyer, me, my lawyer, and a mediator. Veronica walked in wearing designer clothes. I'm pretty sure our business inadvertently paid for. Still acting like she had the upper hand. The mediator reviewed the evidence. It took 2 hours just to summarize everything. Fake vendors, cash skimming, personal expenses, insurance fraud, the reviews, the threats at my apartment. Miss Veronica's last name. Do you have any evidence to refute these claims? This is all circumstantial. He's setting me up. Her lawyer looked tired. Veronica, we discussed this. No, I'm not admitting to anything. He, pointing at me, has been planning this from the start. Those receipts, he probably forged them. My lawyer slowly pulled out another binder. Interesting theory. Shall we discuss the forensic analysis that verified the authenticity of every document, or perhaps the security footage from various stores showing you making these purchases? Yeah, I'd gone that far. When I saw the personal purchases, I'd requested security footage from the stores. Some still had it. Veronica? Clear as day, buying personal items and paying with the business credit card. The mediator suggested a break. During the break, I overheard Veronica screaming at her lawyer in the hallway. Something about incompetence, and you said they couldn't prove anything. When we reconvened, her lawyer spoke first. My client is willing to discuss terms. The terms we offered. Full restitution. $60,000. The $45K stolen plus interest and fees. She surrenders all claim to the business. She pays my legal fees. We don't pursue criminal charges. Veronica exploded. $60,000? I don't have that kind of money. Where did the stolen money go? The mediator asked. Silence. Her lawyer whispered urgently to her. Finally, she agreed to the terms. Sort of. I need time to get the money. How much time? 6 months. My lawyer laughed. Actually laughed. No, 30 days. First payment of $20,000 in 10 days, or we file criminal charges. Here's where it got interesting. Veronica's parents showed up the next day, at the business. During a prep day for a big corporate event. Her mom was in tears. Her dad was furious, but not at me. How could you do this, Veronica? We taught you better. Turns out, Veronica had gone to them for the money, had to tell them why. They were mortified. Also turned out, this wasn't her first rodeo. She'd pulled similar stunts at her previous job, but the restaurant just fired her quietly. Her dad pulled me aside. We'll make sure you get the money. All of it. But please, don't press criminal charges. She's our daughter. I felt bad for them. They seemed like good people with a terrible daughter. If she pays everything back and stays away from the business, we won't file charges. He nodded. She will. I'll make sure of it. Update 5. Veronica paid. Not willingly, but she paid. $20,000 in 10 days, just like we demanded. Her parents wrote the check. The next $20,000 came 2 weeks later. The final $20,000 took the full 30 days, but it came. She also had to sign over her half of the business. The paperwork was beautiful. Clean transfer, no strings attached. I own 100% now. But here's where the entitlement came roaring back. 2 weeks after the final payment, I started getting messages. Not from Veronica. She was legally barred from contacting me. From her friends, her cousins, random flying monkeys. You destroyed her life over money. She made one mistake and you ruined her. You're a greedy bastard who stole her business. The narrative she was spinning? That I'd fabricated evidence to force her out of our successful business. That I'd always been jealous of her superior business skills and plotted to take everything. One of her friends, Mallory, even showed up at a catering event, started telling the client that I was a thief and a fraud who'd stolen the business from her friend. Security removed her. The client, thankfully, was understanding, especially when I showed them the court documents. Ended up booking us for 3 more events. But the harassment continued. Bad reviews kept popping up. Someone kept calling our business phone and hanging up. Orders were placed and then mysteriously canceled. I documented everything. Every message, every call, every review. My lawyer sent cease and desist letters to everyone we could identify. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. Remember the forensic accountant? They'd recommended we alert the insurance companies about the fraud. I'd held off, hoping to avoid criminal charges, but with the harassment continuing, I made the call. Insurance fraud is no joke. They have their own investigators, their own lawyers, and they don't mess around. They opened an investigation. Suddenly, Veronica had bigger problems than our settlement. The investigator called me 2 weeks later. They'd found more. Veronica hadn't just defrauded our business insurance. She'd filed false claims on her car insurance, 2 accidents that never happened, and renter's insurance, a burglary where nothing was actually stolen. Pattern of fraud, across multiple companies, over multiple years. They were building a criminal case. Veronica's dad called me, begging, "Please, can you ask them to stop? We paid you back." "You said no criminal charges." I said we wouldn't file criminal charges. I can't control what the insurance companies do, but you reported it. After your daughter continued harassing me and my business, actions have consequences. He hung up on me. Final update. It's been 6 months since this all started. 6 months since I showed Veronica those first forensic reports. Life is different now. The business, thriving. Without someone skimming off the top, profits are up 40%. I hired 2 new employees, people who actually appreciate having receipts for everything. Turns out, legitimate employees like working for a boss who documents everything. Makes them feel secure. Veronica? Last I heard, she took a plea deal on the insurance fraud charges. No jail time, but 3 years probation, massive fines, and restitution to the insurance companies. Around $50,000 total. Her parents had to take out a second mortgage. She also can't work in any fiduciary capacity for the duration of her probation. No handling money, no access to business accounts, no positions of financial trust. For someone who thought she was too smart for receipts, it's poetic justice. The harassment stopped cold after the criminal charges were filed. Amazing how legal consequences clarify things for people. All those flying monkeys disappeared. The bad reviews stopped. The hang-up calls ended. I ran into Russell, our original accountant, at a conference last month. He bought me a beer and said, "You know, most people would have just eaten the loss. Confronting a partner is hard." I had the receipts, I said. Seemed wasteful not to use them. He laughed. "Still keeping everything? Every receipt, every invoice, every document." "Still petty?" he joked. "Petty pays," I said, and clinked his glass. Because here's the thing, I wasn't keeping receipts to catch Veronica. I was keeping them because it's good business. The fact that they exposed her fraud, that's just karma, working with good documentation. But the best part? Last week I was doing a tasting for a potential client. Big corporate event, huge budget, the kind of booking that makes your year. The client looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. Halfway through the tasting, she said, "I have to tell you something. My cousin is Veronica." My heart sank. Here we go again. "I wanted to see for myself what kind of person you were," she continued. "She told the family you destroyed her life over petty grudges." I stayed quiet, no point arguing, but my dad's an accountant. He looked at the public court records, told me what really happened. She paused. "I own a small business too. The thought of a partner doing that, it's terrifying." "It was a learning experience," I said carefully. She smiled. "Do you really keep every receipt?" "Every single one." "Good. I like working with people who document everything. Consider us booked. $30,000 event, one of our biggest ever. Petty pays, indeed. Looking back, I don't feel great about how everything went down. Watching someone destroy their own life through greed and entitlement isn't satisfying. It's sad. Veronica had everything: a thriving business, a loyal partner, a future. She threw it all away for what? $45,000 over a year? That's less than what she would have made legitimately. But I also don't feel guilty. I didn't create fake vendors. I didn't skim cash. I didn't file false insurance claims. I just kept receipts. And when she laughed at me for being petty, when she mocked my paper hoarding, she was really laughing at accountability, at honesty, at the basic foundation of trust that makes partnerships work. She's not laughing anymore. Neither am I really. But I'm sleeping well. My business is clean, my conscience is clear, and my filing cabinet is still meticulously organized. Because in business, like in life, documentation isn't petty. It's protection. And when someone tells you that keeping records makes you petty or controlling or obsessive, run. Run fast. And keep your receipts. You'll need them when the laughter stops.